And we are live. Thank you.
We are live. Okay, we will convene now the December 12th meeting of the Wildwoods Architectural Review Board. Welcome, and we'll ask the staff to call the roll, if you would, please.
Chair Lobley.
Here.
Member Mann. Member Ritter.
Here.
Member Parsons.
Here.
Member Jones. Member Bartlesmeyer. See, still. Yes. Member Ratterman. Council Member Liaison Nyan. Here. And Planning and Zoning Commission Liaison, Mr. Cohn.
Here.
So we do have a quorum, correct?
We do.
Okay. All right, we'll proceed. You should have gotten a packet which had the minutes of the October 10th meeting. And so a motion would be in order to approve the minutes of the October 10th, 2024 meeting.
We'll make that motion.
Okay, Ritter moves. Is there a second? And seconds. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Minutes are approved. Thank you. The agenda items, we have the 3 agenda items to be discussed. Are there any other changes or additions that anyone has? If not, then we will proceed with public comment. Other than the specific cases that we'll have coming for us, where there will be an opportunity for public comment. Are there any public comments from anything else that anyone has? All right, seeing none, we will proceed on to old business. Is there any old business that we have?
No, sir.
No old business. We will then proceed to new business and read in the first case, if you would, the Whalen Custom Homes.
All right. I would like to thank you all for bearing the cold and being here tonight for this. The first item that we have on the agenda is Whalen Custom Homes at 2626 Center Avenue. It's an initial review of a single family dwelling to be located on Lot 1 of the proposed Wesley Park subdivision. The property is approximately 1/3 of an acre and it's located on the south of Manchester. If you'll bear with me, I have a share screen showing the location. Yeah. Okay. Okay. And so you can see that this is it's lot 1. It's the last lot in this 4 lot subdivision to be developed. It's south of Manchester. It's on the east side of Center Avenue. And it's located in the R3 resident zoning district and the neighborhood edge district in town center. And if you go to the next slide, this is just a photograph of the lot and its current existing conditions. And the next one is as well. This one is looking here. This one's looking to the south of the property. You see one of the recently built homes there. And then the next slide is the surrounding area across the street from where this will be built. And then there's also a pond directly across from the property. And then the next slide is of the actual site plan of the lot. The site plan, as well as the architectural components of this proposed project, meet all of the city's regulations, except for one concern that we do have about the stormwater BMP areas. You can even see on this particular site plan that the BMP areas kind of overlap with where the house is located, which has also been a problem with a couple of the other lots. And so therefore, this is just something the department would like to get straightened out. They've been reviewed by MSD and apparently there aren't any issues with MSD, but the department hasn't had a chance to review them and compare them. And most importantly, get the changes recorded because right now, the record plat has the language on it that protects these areas, and that plat is inconsistent with what is actually being shown. And so Tonight, the department is looking for either approval with or without conditions, or denial, or a continuance if there is more information that you would like. That being said, should the department or should the board choose to approve this tonight, the department would just ask that it's based upon the approval and recording of these amended BMP areas on the site plat or the subdivision plat, just so that they are protected in their accurate locations rather than where houses are. And so with that, that concludes the department's presentation. We do have someone here to present on behalf of Whalen Custom Homes. And thus we would turn it over to them for a presentation. But afterwards, Mr. Greenidge or I are here to answer any questions we might be able to.
Okay, the room is set up a little bit differently, so I'm not sure if I'm just supposed to stand here or what, but I'm Jennifer Bartley. I work for Whalen Custom Homes. I am a project manager on this particular project. As Melanie mentioned, this is the fourth and final project in the Wesley Park subdivision. So I'm sure we all kind of share the same goal as far as getting it done. I think in the packets, everything is pretty self-explanatory, and it is actually a house that the ARB has approved on a couple of other occasions in Stone Mill, and I think we have another one elsewhere in Wildwood as well. Very consistent with the neighborhood. I'm happy to answer any questions as far as the exterior appearance of the house and whatnot. I think it's pretty self-explanatory that it fits the neighborhood, and it's, you know, very consistent with everything else that's there. To address your point, Melanie, the situation that we're running into is that when the subdivision was initially recorded, the footprints of the homes were stock houses as opposed to custom houses that, you know, were not even conceived yet. So the BMP areas are, I believe, identical, if not very, very close, as far as the areas of what was on the recorded plat versus what we're proposing with this particular property. And we have run into this, I believe, on 3 of the 4 properties, if I'm not mistaken.
I think all of them were
Was it
slightly
4?
different than what was.
They're all custom, so, you know, as these projects have developed, they're not the exact footprint of what was on the original plat. So what we're proposing is that Whalen Custom Homes produces an easement document that can be recorded, that we can reconcile what our site plan is with what the recorded plat is, and, you know, make sure everything is consistent and city requires. I don't think there's anything in there that's, you know, a problem per se. It's just not consistent with the original plat. So as far as the area that we're talking about, it's an identical area, if not inches different. So we're respectfully asking the board to consider granting provisional approval as, you know, to build what is in the packet based on the condition that we produce that document recording.
Any questions of anybody? Is this, on one of the things, it looked like it was originally 2 lots and there was a house in the middle that overlapped the line. Did I misunderstand something from one of the?
No, oh, well, initially, I believe there was a tear down at the beginning, but I don't think that's reflected on anything in the packet. Lot 3 is complete and, you know, is occupied. Lot 4 is almost complete. And lot 2 just made it through ARB and is about to be constructed.
I'm looking at this diagram, it looks like a house in the middle and there's a line. And it was just the word Wildwood,
That's the tear down. I don't,
that's the tear down.
okay, yeah. This is a document that you guys.
Yes,
Yeah, no, that house is gone. It's not there anymore. It's been demolished.
Okay. I assumed as much, but I
Okay.
wondered, well, wait a minute, you're getting pretty close to another house.
No, it's gone.
Okay.
It's gone.
Any other questions or comments from anybody? No. So you'll be looking for a motion to approve, that the Architecture Review Board approves, but with the condition that it satisfies the BMP revised plan. Is that correct?
Correct, that it's approved and recorded, and that the means of recording can be determined at not this meeting.
Would someone care to make that motion, please? Mr. Parsons will move. Is there a second? I am second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's easy.
I didn't ask if there's anything further you had on this. I'm looking at your agenda. You didn't have anything further after her presentation.
No, not
Okay,
unless there
I
are any
just looked
questions
at
for the
that.
department, but thank
Okay.
you.
All right. So the next case with the St. Louis Community College. You're gonna do it, Joe? Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair and members of the board, the item before you tonight is being submitted by the St. Louis Community College District for the Wildwood campus. This is one of those roles you all play relative to making a recommendation to another board. In our sign regulations, when a variance is requested to a sign, the first step in the process is to present it to the Architectural Review Board for comments and/or recommendation. In this particular case, the community college is nearing completion of their new building, second building on the campus here in Wildwood. It is a large building, approximately 146,000 square feet. And really, it's a unique design in that it's really two buildings that is one. And one side is for STEM classes and the other a much anticipated nursing program that'll have nursing classes there. The building is part of an overall campus plan. Originally, when the concept plan was submitted, they had looked at potentially five buildings on the site. So it's good to see this second building being built. And it's a building that I think for the most part will really make the campus more complete, so to speak. Each building on the campus has the right of signage. And the way the department's interpreted it is that this campus has two frontages, one on Manchester Road and then the other on Generations Drive. That allows them two signs, and they proposed two signs with the logo of the district on them. Both of those signs were compliant to the requirements of the city. The third sign is allowed, but it's an information type sign. And information type signs are limited to 10 square feet. This particular sign is 191 square feet, so obviously it needs a variance. You might be thinking, well, that's an awful big variance, but from the perspective of the city, it's almost an architectural element in association with the building. The sign will wrap a corner. It will be integrated into colorized brick so as it accents it. And it is to be lighted, so it will really be kind of the entry identifier into the building, which is why the department considers it an information sign. The department has reviewed all the other aspects of the sign, other than size. The only item that remains is just what we call the Kelvin, the lighting source, which is at 7,000, which is substantial. We're hoping that through the discussions, we can get that to 4,000 or less. The department believes a lesser illumination source is appropriate, given that it is at eye level. It's a pedestrian sign more than a vehicular sign, and it's an architectural element. So from that perspective, we hope we can address the Kelvin so as it isn't a blinding light for the students. The caveat would be, and I would defer to the other architects and you. If the material is so opaque that the 7,000 is needed to adequately light it, then that's a different story. We haven't explored that yet. So tonight we're presenting a sign that'll be going to our Board of Adjustment next Thursday, a week from tonight. And we are respectfully requesting any comments or direction you'd like to provide. Thank you.
Any questions or comments? Do we have someone from the community college here? Okay, please.
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Yep, please.
Show you guys, we actually, because there was a couple things that I felt were important, and thanks for allowing us to come tonight. I was gonna go over and plug this in real quick, if that's okay. I won't take too much of your electricity.
But all right, we got plenty to spare right now.
The lighting component, as you mentioned, is one thing that I felt was important to show you guys. And then also the fact that this particular sign faces the parking lot of the building, and it doesn't, you know, it's not facing any residential areas or even a road. So those are just a couple things to consider. Just so you can see here. We'll go in there.
That's not a chance to, oh no, that's right, he would see it up there. Okay, I was gonna say. Mr. Cole.
Know if you can we dim these slides by chance? I think I might get it. Oh, that was good to hang on one second. I think I might get it.
Leave that there just in
All right,
case.
cool, perfect, thank you.
No problem. You know how to do this? Excellent. I can figure it out, but it usually takes me a minute.
Device is busy.
You can probably get a good enough idea. I just didn't know if. Oh, there you go, perfect. So when you talk about 7,000 Kelvin lighting from a direct light source, it's pretty bright. But from an indirect light source like this is what we call halo lighting. So we have a transfuser on the back. It's bouncing off of here. So you're probably getting about 2,000 Kelvin glowing off of the face of the sign, roughly. So I felt like that was an important thing to kind of highlight and show. You know, if you were to turn this around, if it was a face lit sign, and if it's 7,000 Kelvin, that's a lot brighter than a halo lit sign. Now we could reduce the Kelvins in here too and be okay, but I'd be concerned if we went too low. You know, I don't think that would be necessary in achieving what you guys are probably trying to achieve.
The indication of 4,000, is 4,000 too low in your judgment?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I mean, there's all different ways to achieve that. We could do, you know, a 5,000 Kelvin light or something to that nature, but still, like I was saying, if you went to 4,000, you'd probably be illuminating 800 Kelvins off of the base of the light or the sign. Because you're looking at the, you know, what's bouncing off the back, not the shooting out the back. It's reduced quite a bit. So that's the level of Kelvin of the LED that's in there, but it's not the level of Kelvin that you're seeing, you know, due to the type of application. I wanted to show you guys that, you know, just so you could get a good
Is the
feel.
blue panel the backing behind what would be the sign?
Right, well, it's gonna be it's a blue tile. But it's the same, we matched the gloss of the tile on the back with this particular paint color. So it's, give or take, it's pretty close as far as the glow you're gonna get.
Is
Did you have a
that,
question, ma'am?
yeah, how, is that to scale? Like, is that, or
This is just a fabricated sample. It's probably not exactly to scale size wise, but. Well, I should say, actually, the returns are. So that would be it's a perfect representation of part of the sign.
Right,
Yeah. exactly,
and
yeah.
then the other question, so is it just that part and then the other elongated design that's lit, or is the perimeter of it lit? I can't, like, it looks like here, there's a little white mark, but I didn't know if the whole
The,
thing's
the
lit. or-
perimeter will light as well. And it'll have the same glow as this does around the outside perimeter.
Up there at the top where she's pointing. That's what you're referring to, right?
Right.
Yes, okay.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's what I wasn't sure. Okay, so all the way around and across. the-
Yeah, yeah, good question. So any questions, regarding any of that stuff? I felt like that was important, and then the fact that we're facing the parking lot with this particular sign at a road or anything like that, so.
This is that existing parking lot that's there at the college, right?
Yeah, Mariella, is that right? Actually, it's.
For
You
me,
see it
it's
on
the
the
existing
site
parking lot,
plan.
that's why I'm trying to understand whether it's the.
It's on that site plan, I can give it.
Yeah,
to you.
no, the wraparound sign is in the new parking lot.
Oh.
It's a completely new parking lot, let's say behind the building. If you stand up in the existing building, you will see, let's say what we call the front. So in the front of the building is going to be only one sign, one of
Okay.
the square signs, 50 square feet. And then let's call it the behind of the building is where we will have the new parking lot. And then let's say the longer part of the sign is going to be facing that new parking lot. I don't know if you have this,
Yeah, I'm trying to,
yeah, you don't
Oh,
have
that
the
helps.
existing building there. In this view, here is the existing building.
okay.
And then-
There,
So this is Generations,
okay.
and then this is a new parking lot.
Manchester is south of that?
Manchester is this way.
Okay.
Oh, this.
Way like here. Because there is a school here.
Okay, I was gonna say there's a school somewhere there. I was trying to remember what the school was. I was thinking.
Exactly.
Okay.
The school is here and then Manchester is here.
And what's over here?
Over here,
Is that the
Currently-
Shopping center?
the shopping center is in this area, the YMCA is here. And these are all their neighborhoods down, way down here.
Oh, so that's what I was gonna say. So it's a neighborhood, but it's removed enough.
It's removing now.
So as you're driving in, and passing the shopping center on the right and the Y on the left, would you see it back in there, or it's on the complete other side?
Yeah, you're gonna have to drive way down the
Way down,
road. Right
okay.
now, what we're building right now, you have never driven before.
Okay,
So you're gonna have to go way down the road, the new road, in order to get to the building. And you will see the shorter part of the longer sign. You will see that there when you're driving. If you're coming, let's say you're coming from the shopping and the YMCA, you will have this new road. If you wanna go to the new building, and then that's where you will see that wraparound sign. But it will be, down that way.
so
And another perspective is, for instance, like the parking lot lights and things like that are gonna throw off a magnitude of more light, for instance, than this will.
sorry, I just wanna, so the other two signs look nothing like this. They're more like the name of the building or something, they're not lit similar to this.
They will be
They
lit,
will be lit.
but they will be smaller. It will be just
Okay.
square ones.
Okay, yeah.
And then they will be high in the building because as you see, this one is like almost ground level.
Right.
And then the other ones are up. You see, this is the facade. There
Okay.
is one here. And then the other one.
They'll be kind of on the other side of the building too, right?
Sorry?
The other signs will be essentially kind of the other side of the building.
Yeah, right here.
Yes, one on the other side, and then
Here.
you will have one on the front side.
Here, I think the two signs will face north and
This is the existing building. Right now, let's say, right now, these are the shopping center here. And then here is the existing building.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying, like this road, this is new. All this
Okay,
is
take a
new.
look. Yeah, I see that.
Exactly,
I
and then
know
see, this is the
Meadows and
wraparound. So that's why, like, you have never driven here before, this was,
Okay.
this didn't exist. So this is the long sign. All this is a new parking lot. That's why people will go this way to access this building because of this parking lot back here.
Okay.
So we
Big-
will have the wraparound here, one of the signs here, and then the other one. Like, this is the one that you will see kind of like the sign of the building. But it wouldn't say anything. It would just be this logo.
There's the deck, okay.
Yeah, I think Mr. Cornish
Sorry.
had
Sure.
something to share.
just to give the two allowable signs, the
Mhm.
ones not needing the variance, I believe are orientated to the north and to the east. So to give full identification from the existing building, the existing improvements. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments, observations?
So far, nobody has said that they really love the sign and that it looks really good.
We'll get to that.
Brought my business cards.
I will say that often when I see it, my first reaction when I see the college signs, I think of Union Electric, the old Ameren.
The old,
The old Ameren, and
yeah,
and then I have to pull myself back and,
Yeah,
oh, no,
right.
that's
that's a
so.
good point, yeah.
Those are LED signs.
What's the pleasure of the group?
Jim, from the department's perspective, speaking for the Board of Adjustment, is there any thoughts you have that you'd like them to consider as they move forward with the variance request? Could relate to the size of the sign. Although given the size of the building, the department does believe it's relatively proportional for its purpose. And then again, the lighting. The demonstration does indicate that the 7,000 isn't as onerous as the department originally thought. Do you think that maybe from the department's perspective, it'll be an item that's identified to the Board of Adjustment? Still seems a little bit too much to me.
I'm curious about when the sign will be on. Is it on all the time, every night, all night?
I would have to defer to the representatives from the college.
I guess we would like to be consistent with how the hours that the building operates. But if there is any recommendation from the city, we can definitely consider that as well.
What we could do and what's typical is so for instance, like what would be the latest hours that students would be there and things of that nature?
I would say about 10 PM.
So what we would typically do is put it on a timer, which is very normal, like 90% of our signs are on timers anyway. So it could be timed to click off at, say, 10:30 or something like that.
And then, Mr. Chair, under our outdoor lighting requirements that are part of the zoning ordinance, 10:30 PM is generally the cutoff time. So that's something that would be reasonable. You all to consider, it would be consistent with code.
I was just gonna make a comment. I mean, I kind of think it's cool. I mean, I think it's gonna be really different. So there's your comment. No, I'm just kidding. I do, but it's hard to visualize the scale of it. Like, this doesn't look too imposing. It's like, okay, but we're also not in the dark. So I feel like in the dark of night, it might look a little brighter, and when the scale, it might look pretty bright. And you mentioned it maybe wouldn't be a problem to cut it down a little, and you also mentioned there'll be parking lot lights, so then
Yeah.
like how,
Yeah, so like when you think about it from the perspective of viewing it, and we're talking pretty vast distances here where other people are gonna be, would even possibly be able to see this from. You're going to be looking at it through ambient light. There's gonna be a lot of parking lot lights that are obviously necessary. And those are gonna be much brighter than what this is.
Okay.
This is what we would consider an accent piece, an architectural accent piece on the building that is really gonna look pretty subdued from that standpoint. And I really don't just say that because I'm sitting here trying to sell this sign to you. I mean, in all reality, you're gonna be looking through a lot of ambient light at this. You're not gonna be in complete darkness, and this is just gonna be out there glowing. And this sign is this particular one, and it's a little bit larger. It's down on eyesight level. It's unlikely that most of the public who are not actually there at the college will ever even be able to see this from where it's at. But the parking lot lights will really subdue the lighting quite a bit. I mean, you could even see that if you turn the lights on now, how it, dims it down. Just another perspective to think about.
Two more questions.
Sure.
What is the Kelvin rating on the parking lot lighting? Is there any other building lighting? And I'm gonna show my stupidity here. I understood that the Kelvin rating on a fixture was the quality of lighting from higher Kelvin or blue-white light to a warmer light in the lower Kelvin range, not the lumens produced.
Well, it's both. It's both. So there is warmer and cooler, but as you go up in Kelvin, you're also going up in intensity because
It's a purer light.
it's correct. It's not as powerful a light, but it's a more pure light, yes. So that would be a way to sort of look at it.
I know at Florissant Valley, their parking lot lighting is like 3,500.
Yeah, I mean, a parking lot light is probably,
I can settle for you.
5 to 7.
Under
I
our
mean,
code, it shouldn't be more than 4,000 K. The parking lot lighting,
Parking lots.
yes, we want farm lighting. Want a bad example of a high Kelvin applied to a parking lot? Look at Barnes and Noble on Clarkson Road. It's a blue light, and we don't want that.
I realize you're trying to measure.
But brightness, the brightness of like the lumens, like this gentleman brought up, and he's exactly correct. There's a difference between Kelvin and lumens, so that the amount of lumens that this puts off and the amount of lumens that a parking lot light put off are vastly different. A parking lot light is gonna put off 10 times what that is.
Again, with all due respect, your parking lot light standards are no more than 16 feet, and that includes the full luminaire. And they have to be fully shielded. So again, we're cautious about outdoor lighting. This is a dark environment. That's why the department's made the 7,000 K part of the variance request. This is unusual, even under this application. Sorry, Chair.
That's fine,
Right,
appreciate it. No, appreciate that. I know we were talking about the 7,000 being what goes that way.
Mhm.
What's the measurement for what comes this way?
Don't know, don't have it. You'd have to measure that with a.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I think we're trying to get at, is that we're concerned with what's coming this way.
Yeah. What I can't do it right here, but you may be able to. Actually, if you guys wanna look, you can see behind what's shooting out of there.
Mhm.
I can't really walk it around to each person, but you can look behind there and see how bright that is
Mhm.
and see the difference there. I mean, it's substantially different. You can see it. Now, we could reduce it to, we could reduce it and see what it looks like. But the thing is, again, there's a difference between lumens and Kelvin. So you would also change the light to a different light spectrum slightly, so it wouldn't exactly have the same look. And Mariella, how far away do you think what kind of distances are we talking about to anyone that wouldn't be on St. Louis Community College property?
Oh.
I mean, we're talking several hundred yards, right? It's not like you're in a shopping center or something. When you say it's in a dark area, you know, and it's unusual, that might be true under certain circumstances, but given how far of a distance that any public would be.
Again, with all due respect, there's three components. There's three legs on the stool. There's night glow, there's nuisance, and there's spillage. And so we don't have to worry about nuisance or spillage, but the night glow is something that the city and its residents have talked about. We're losing it because of Chesterfield, Eureka, and Ellisville. I don't want to lose it because we're doing something wrong. So that light just eventually creates a glow. We're trying to minimize that, so. Mr. Chair, I have a question.
Please.
If we can put it on a timer, can you put it on some type of gauge where we could adjust it to see what really is the kind of sweet spot? If it's not 7,000 and it's not 5,000, is there a way to gauge it?
Sure, I could wire a dimmer to this, not right now, but I mean, yeah, I could do that. We could also measure possibly. I might be able to get someone who's got the right device to measure that, what's coming off of there, but if I'm to guess, it's probably about 2,000 Kelvin as far as what you're talking in brightness wise, like light pollution wise. And
That's low.
can you see from over there by chance? You might have to come over here, but can you see the difference? Like in the face, like if I was to take this panel off
A very bright light.
and shine it directly at you, that would be a full 7,000. So this is much different. And we do build signage, and we build big bright signage too. This is very subdued from a 7, and it really shouldn't have been characterized in the first place as 7,000 Kelvin because it's not. We're not reflecting 7,000 Kelvin off of here. So that's really a misrepresentation that probably should have never gone into there. And that's why I wanted to bring this so you could actually see it with your own eyes, how reduced it is from that standpoint. But that being said, you know, we'd be happy to, we want to work with the city and we want to be good partners and we want everybody to be happy. We obviously have an objective, spending an awful lot of money trying to get the campus up and make it look right. And this is an architectural piece. On the other hand, you know, we want to be good partners. And if we need to wire something up to show a different, you know, luminosity off of this, we could do that.
I wonder if that's what we may want to do. I think a good suggestion is to try to, that way we can visualize ourselves what it means.
Mhm.
Others? Then we're gonna maybe defer action pending that?
Well, the Board of Adjustment has the schedule for next week. I may offer another suggestion and I'll defer to your all's judgment because obviously I think you'll hit the right spot. The building exterior is complete where the sign is planned.
Correct.
Would the board accept the suggestion that they basically place the sign out there? And now that it gets dark at about 5 o'clock and do a measurement of what the actual Kelvin is as it reflects off the back and forms the halo. And if it's 4,000 or less, there's really not much of a discussion, I think, any longer. Can you do that?
That can be done.
Yeah, like a mock-up, so to speak.
I mean, the other thing we can do is we can. I just want to make sure I don't talk, I need to think about the electric that we already have. We could wire in a dimmer. So where in the kit, because I'm trying to, I mean, it would cost thousands of dollars to then remove this and rebuild, I mean, you know. It wouldn't be, but if I could wire a dimmer, in the case that people would say, oh, that's too bright. We wouldn't want to install the whole sign and then have someone say, oh, it's too bright, because then we'd have to.
Yeah, I was thinking.
But if we could put it on a dimmer and be able to adjust it per that conversation, that could be done.
Well, I think under the code, 4,000 is the limit, so if you end up just kind of attaching that,
Yeah, we'll be far below 4,000.
you, again, my thought is you attach that to the side of the building where the applicable sign is planned.
Oh,
Connect it, and then measure what's coming off of it.
this particular
Yeah.
sample.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I thought you were suggesting to put the whole sign on.
No, not at all. I just think
Well,
that'll
and I was
get,
saying that would be possible, we could put it on a dimmer and it could dim it, but,
well, again, without even having the dimmer, if you can
sure.
measure the light that's reflecting off the back of the sign,
Yeah.
it's 4,000, and the measurement is 4,000 K or less, you're compliant then.
We could do that.
Then maybe, I'm just thinking that maybe our action is that we approve with the condition that what is reflected off does not exceed 4,000.
Very good. Very good.
Then it would not need to go to,
Then that part of the variance request would be next Thursday, just I would advise them that they're in compliance based upon the efforts and direction of the board.
What reflects off does not exceed 4,000. And then in addition, complying with Wildwood that it would turn off at 10:30 or 10:30, if at least by 10:30, if not earlier.
What I can do is have this measured before that meeting to know if
Yeah.
that's exactly what that
We've
is.
got approximately a week, so hopefully that's.
Yeah, I can get that done. Yeah. I just want to make sure it's accurate, but yeah, for sure. I think that's a good way. I think that's a good path forward.
Okay, so that's the lighting side of things. What about the size?
Again, from the department's perspective, it's the biggest building in town.
yeah.
I was gonna say, my reaction is the big building and they're kind of off by themselves. I don't think I have a problem with that, but I'm respectful of the fact that we have standards we're trying to focus on as well.
I don't have a problem with the size. Like, I think it's proportionate and I think it will look like an architectural feature more than just like a sign. It's part of the building. So, I mean,
And I think what we're looking at is a motions that would approve it, including the size, and that the Kelvin reflecting off would not exceed 4,000, and that it will be compliant with a no later than 10:30 cutoff. So conditional approval. Is that,
I move that.
Sam Parsons moves? Is there a second?
second, that sounds good.
Is there a second? Oh, okay, I'm sorry. 9 seconds. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed nay. The ayes have it. Your conditional
To
approval.
abstain,
All righty,
yes.
good deal.
Go to
Thanks, guys.
go to the board.
Mr. Chair, with your permission.
Yes.
Mr. Ritter is working on, for the community college up at Florissant Valley, so he'll abstain, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay, I see.
Did Mr.
Record
Cullen
that.
vote?
Thank you.
Go over here.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you. Congratulations.
Anything further on that, then please action on it. And we are, thank you.
Thanks, guys. That was a great discussion.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Oh, no, I don't.
Okay, we're moving on to Rockwood School District's Wildwood Middle School and calling the staff to
We have copies of this.
fill a fit.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks again, guys.
Thank you.
Right. So, Mr. Chair, I didn't do a thorough research, but this might be the smallest structure the architectural review board would ever
It's like,
consider. So maybe you're creating a good trivia question tonight. Mr. Chair, members of the board, Public School District would like to install a 120 square foot utility shed at Wildwood Middle School. Utility shed is by Tough Shed. Representative of Tough Shed is here tonight. And the intent is obviously to place it near Manchester Road. Shed will, for all intents and purposes, have a 3-tab shingle that's gray in color. Color of the shed itself is a matching color, and I believe there's white trim. Intents and purposes, it will look, I assume, much like what they've shown on the catalog cut sheet. Our code outside town center basically says any structure or building that is not a single family dwelling has to come to the Architectural Review Board, so that's why it's here tonight. We define structure in our zoning ordinance as any assembly of materials for use or occupancy. So it's as broad as the world's wide, so that's why it's here. And the representative from Tough Shed can give you more details. Melanie identified in the report, we did have concerns about location because we are in a process of a revitalization effort along Route 66 Manchester Road, and we were hoping it could be at less of a prominent place. But again, I think the representative from Tough Shed will probably address that or at least explain it.
I will try, yeah.
So, Mr. Chair, if there's any questions of Melanie and I, it's our presentation on our 120 square foot shed.
So we go from big community college sign to a little Tough Shed sign.
10 by 12, 10 by 12 shed. My name is Jason Biss. I'm representing Tough Shed. I'm the area sales manager for Tough Shed. I've been doing sheds for 7 years with this throughout Wildwood School District. We do not do anything without permit or guidance from the board. This is why we're here with this. Can we go back to the map? I want to take a look at that map because I want to just kind of be clear of where this is going to be. I've also got some other pictures of where I've walked the street and I've walked Manchester and shot pictures. It's gonna be a hard view to see that. So look here.
You are the one with the numbers. I tried to promote you as a panelist if you want to accept, if you wanted to show your photos.
Let me see if I can do it.
Okay.
Let me look at this. See here. So where this is at, right here. It's actually these past back there.
Further back?
It's further back. It's not in the front. It is not in the front of towards Manchester. It's towards the back. It's in the last parking spot back there.
Mr. Chair, I'll defend the department and say we received through our online portal is this particular plan. That particular plan shows it in the 2 parking spaces closest to Manchester Road. So if that is correct, that's good news.
In all due respect, we've had some personnel change. I just got on the end of this with it, for it. And just trying to clarify everything out. Let me see if I can share my screen.
What's this shed for? Bad kids, timeout?
Yes, yeah, primarily, yes. No, they're actually sticking salt in there
Time out.
for their parking lots. This is strictly for the maintenance guys, so they're not going inside and spreading salt all the way out. With it, number one, like we get a lot of snow, but anyway, this is also for they're cleaning up for the parking lot equipment. And I've been there about 4 or 5 times with it. That's where those maintenance guys park, is right in those little spots across from it to grab stuff, and they're not going inside the building. And so on that part, it makes sense to me with it. But yeah, this is a big campus. I get it. This is also the flattest area they can do it. It's gonna be anchored down. That meets all the requirements, 120 square feet. It's not a big shed. It's just a maintenance shed. I don't know, can't get. I guess I'll bring this around to y'all, these three pictures I've got. See if I can get onto this.
My
Telling me that you
initial-
declined to be a panelist.
I
I'm trying to
know.
promote you now. Does it say accept?
Hang on. Oh, there we go.
There you go.
Look at that. Hey, I love technology when it works.
Melanie, you should have rights to share.
Yes, absolutely.
So I'm gonna share the pictures that I took. Maybe. Share my screen.
So you're on Google.
Hey, I love it.
I think you might have shared the wrong screen. Oh, never mind.
I'm gonna open my email up. So these are. This is basically looking directly at the parking lot when you're going into the school, okay?
From
That's what you
Manchester
see.
Road.
Manchester Road, yep, that's what you see. And I set everything, you know, to get, so that's what we see, with it. Let me see what this will let me do here.
Mr. Chair, I hate to be a thorn in everyone's side
Please.
tonight, but that's the west side of the building. Roundabout or that little island is on the west side if you look at your.
I was gonna say, that didn't look like where the angle was.
And that's going straight towards the shed. Now, what's there now?
You know, apologize to the petitioner, but this is the west side of the school where they actually already have their loading dock and trash enclosure and dumpsters. But plan shows it on the east side.
All right, so I'm gonna put this one right here. Do you see that big blue dumpster right there? There's my Tough Shed car right in front. That blue dumpster will be blocking the view from that shed. That shed is right there. So I don't know which is a worse eyesore, if the dumpster or my shed. Yeah.
Is there, you mentioned that you were planning on, is position wrong and it's gonna be further down on that one side of the school? Is there a reason why, if you've got all the other utilities and access things on the other side, why it's not on the other side of the school?
So that's going right out the front or the side door where everybody's moving. That's where well, I've been told it's easier for those maintenance guys to get in and out with it. The front of the school faces Manchester.
Mhm.
That's the face. So this is the side towards the track and everything else.
What was shown on the online portal
Looks like
is, what you're talking about is over here, I think. Because this is that little. tree.
Correct. And then when me and Steve talked, so this is what Ken put up to you. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. If I'd have known, I would have been up there. We would have been hanging out and having a cup of coffee in your office and we would not be here. I mean, this is not what I planned, but, in my opinion, it's not intrusive from Manchester Road. To look, I mean, I know that's the Route 66 and you guys want to preserve it. But if you want to go down, I mean, I don't think it's hurting. You would not know driving by that there was a shed there. You would not know. It would just, I think it would just blend in, so to speak.
Well, Mr. Chair and members of the board, it appears it's going to the west side of the building. Where all the other working portions are, the dock,
on the other side.
Closure, so that's a good step.
Yes.
So do you see where that Volvo is? That car?
Yep.
That's actually where the shed is gonna go,
That is as far back on the west side.
as you can get.
as you can get. So that's a positive. from the department's perspective.
So we're now over on the same side as the delivery thing. Okay,
Yep.
okay.
That's good news.
Then maybe what we're doing is if we're approving the shed, is we're approving it condition because of what they submitted. We're approving it conditional that it will be on the other side of the building at the back.
Please,
That's what I think we're suggesting.
please, and I am so sorry for the confusion.
Mr. Chair, that would be very good to the department.
That'll be good for the department. Any other comments from either from you or discussion from the committee?
No, I thank you for your guys' time.
Motion would be in
This was
order to
fun.
recommend that it be on the other side, it's the west side near the back of the building. Okay, Mr. Parsons moved, Ms. Silent seconds. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed nay. The ayes have it. That's our recommendation.
Thank you, sir.
Good.
All right.
All right, Joe, I expect that permit
Thank you.
tomorrow, okay? I'm gonna be up your office at 8 AM. I want that permit, sir.
All right, we have, I don't know of any other items to the agenda. If needed, our next meeting will be Thursday, January 9th. Please.
If I may, so the 9th is actually pretty early on in the year, immediately coming back from the holidays. And if the board is available and open to the idea, we were thinking about running the idea of say January 14th, the Tuesday following the normal Thursday meeting. If that's something that you would be open to consider.
Yeah, the 14th, I know the 16th, but not the 14th. Is that acceptable?
Yeah.
If needed, it will be Tuesday, January 14th.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much. We appreciate it very much.
All right. Anything else for the good of the order? Please.
Melanie and I would like to wish you the best of the holiday season.
Yeah, we do have something like that coming up, don't we? All right. With that, a motion to adjourn is in order. Silent moves, with fractional seconds. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed nay. The ayes have it. We are adjourned, 7:28.
Thank you so